Reincarnated in Shadows, Part 3, The City of Dawn. The city loomed like a fortress of dreams. Spires of marble pierced the morning sky, their white stone kissed with golden light. Walls rose high, carved with ancient runes that shimmered faintly as if alive. The gates themselves were massive, wrought of steel and engraved with dragons curling in endless knots. Cale felt his heart race. He had never seen anything like this. Not in his books, not in his dreams. The bustle of merchants, the clang of blacksmiths, the colorful banners swaying in the wind. It was life, vibrant and untamed. For the first time since his reincarnation, he felt small. Not weak, but humbled by the sheer scope of this world. Serenia walked beside him, her raven hair catching the light. Though weary, her steps grew quicker as they passed under the gates, as if the sight of the city rekindled her strength. "Welcome to Valon," she said softly. "The city of dawn, the heart of the eastern kingdoms." Cale's lips parted. "It's incredible." She glanced at him, a faint smile tugging her lips. "Wait until you see the markets. And the guild." "The guild?" Her eyes glimmered. "If you truly want to live in this world, that's where you start." The survivors dispersed once inside, some weeping as they reunited with loved ones, others disappearing into the crowded streets in search of new beginnings. Cale and Serenia lingered together. Though they had only met a day ago, their bond had already grown deeper than Cale could explain. Maybe it was the battle, maybe the goddess's words, or maybe something else entirely, but he felt drawn to her presence. Yet, the city held dangers as much as wonders. Cale noticed it immediately. Eyes that lingered too long, merchants who turned away quickly, shadows that slithered between alleyways. Power ruled here as much as gold, and Cale needed both. The Adventurers Guild was a grand hall of stone and timber, its doors wide open, spilling laughter, arguments, and the clatter of mugs into the streets. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of ale, roasted meat, and sweat. Warriors in armor, mages in robes, rogues with daggers at their belts, all crowded around long tables or lined up at the reception desk. Cale's heart pounded with excitement. This was it, the beginning of adventure. Serenia led him to the desk where a sharp-eyed receptionist looked them over. "New applicants?" Cale nodded. "Yes." The woman placed two parchment forms before them. Name, origin, skills, and proof of ability. No exceptions. Cale hesitated. "Proof of ability?" Serenia smirked at his uncertainty. "Don't worry, it's just a test. Every adventurer starts this way." They were led into a courtyard behind the guild, a training ground where recruits sparred under watchful eyes. A guild master, broad-shouldered with a scar across his jaw, sized them up. "Fresh blood, eh? All right, prove you're not wasting our time. Show me what you've got." Cale's pulse quickened. He had only fought once, with instinct, not training. But something inside urged him forward. He stepped into the ring, facing a guild guard armed with a wooden blade. The guard grinned mockingly. "This won't take long." Cale drew a breath, shadows whispering at the edge of his vision. He whispered, almost to himself, open quote, "Shadow veil activated," close quote. Darkness curled around him, thin but potent. Gasps rose from the crowd as his figure blurred like mist. The guard swung, but Cale slipped aside, moving like water. His fist struck the man's stomach with bone-cracking force, sending him sprawling across the dirt. Silence fell. Cale straightened, his chest heaving, the veil fading away. The guildmaster stared, eyes narrowed. Then, slowly, he smirked. "Interesting. Very interesting. You're no ordinary greenhorn." Whispers erupted in the crowd. Some stared with awe, others with unease. Serenia beamed faintly from the sidelines, her gray eyes shining with pride. Cale, however, felt a chill beneath the thrill. His powers weren't subtle, and attention could be as dangerous as any enemy. Inside, their paperwork was quickly stamped. They received bronze badges, the mark of beginner adventurers. "You'll start at the lowest rank," the receptionist explained. "Complete quests, earn coin, prove your worth, and you'll rise. But heed this, adventurers die every day. The guild won't mourn you." Cale held the badge in his hand, its weight both real and symbolic. His new life had truly begun. That night, they sat in a small tavern. The food was simple, bread, stew, and ale, but Cale savored every bite like a feast. His past life had been bland diets and hospital rations. Here, every taste was sharp, alive. Serenia watched him with amusement. "You eat like a man starved," Cale chuckled, embarrassed. "Maybe I was." Her laughter was soft, carrying warmth that eased something deep in his chest. For a moment, the chaos of the world melted away, leaving only the two of them at a quiet table. But the peace was broken when a group of armored men entered the tavern, their voices loud and their presence suffocating. They wore silver emblems on their chests, higher ranked adventurers. One of them, tall with golden hair and a smile too sharp to be kind, stopped at their table. Well, fresh faces, he said smoothly, his eyes lingering on Serenia with a gleam Kale didn't like. Why don't you join us, girl? A beauty like you shouldn't waste her time with bronze trash. Serenia's hand tightened on her cup, her eyes flashing with defiance. But before she could speak, Kale rose slowly, his shadow stretching beneath him. She's not interested, Kale said, his voice low, calm, but edged with warning. The golden haired man's smirk faltered. His companions chuckled darkly, sensing the tension. The tavern quieted, eyes turning toward them. Kale's heart pounded, not with fear, but with a strange exhilaration. For once, he wasn't powerless. For once, he could stand between someone and danger. And though he didn't realize it, Serenia's storm gray eyes softened as she looked at him, not with gratitude this time, but with something deeper, something that might one day grow into love. Later, when the golden haired adventurer finally walked away with a sneer, the tavern slowly returned to noise. Serenia exhaled shakily. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did, Kale said simply. Her lips parted as if to reply, but no words came. Instead, silence hung between them, charged and unspoken. That night, as Kale lay in a rented room, the system whispered again. Open quote, Destiny thread updated. The path of shadows draws both allies and rivals. Beware, your choices weave the bonds of many. Close quote. Kale stared at the glowing words before they faded. Bonds of many, a shiver ran down his spine. Was this the beginning of the harem the goddess had hinted at? Would bonds of love become as dangerous as battles of steel? He closed his eyes, whispering into the darkness, Whatever comes, this time I'll face it head on. And outside, the city of Valon pulsed with life, secrets and dangers that waited for him at dawn. End of part 3.